Okay, so let's discuss the last part of adolescence development, especially social emotional. So, here we will cover the social and emotional changes during adolescence. So, and focus on aton topics is about identity formation, relationships, and psychosocial challenges. Let's discuss social and personality development. So let's start with self concept and self esteem. As we all know, identity is the dominant developmental issue ha adolescents. Diba? If you can still remember, an psychosocial crisis, can Eric Erickson, and identity versus role confusion. Pero why is it the main issue or crisis sa adolescents? It's because an formal operational thinking, um, it enables ang mga adolescents in abstract nga self-reflection. So, ang mga teens, they can now think about themselves as psychological entities. So, and mga adolescents also able na hera to distinguish between an era self and others, and they also learn to take and views and others, no. So very important and perspective taking ability, and during adolescence nagmamature ini nga ability na na-imagine na nila how others perceive them. Through this, it also creates an aton gininistoryahan kanina about imaginary audience phenomenon, di ba? Ito nga masyado na ka-conscious. They think that many people are watching them, di ba? So, it's important na maaram kitahan difference, no, or a distinction between self-concept and self-esteem, kasi sometimes dili ansya na 'tong paggamit hini mga word na may ada dugtong nga self. Okay, so self-concept is different from self-esteem because self-concept is cognitive hiya. Ibig sabihin, an imo ni descriptive knowledge about yourself. For example, when you say, I am shy or I am creative, so it has something to do with self-concept or an imo descriptive knowledge sa imo self. While his self-esteem naman is affective, here, pag sumayin kita, affective has something to do with feelings, diba? So, this is your evaluative feeling or how much do you value in certain nga traits. Okay, so as defined, and self-esteem is um, knowing oneself and most importantly, liking oneself. Okay, so liking oneself is self-esteem. Kumbaga, evaluative hiya nga component and self-understanding. So, kay ano importante in self-esteem ha adolescents nga discussion, it's because the mga researches talaga kuan ini naka discover nga it can actually predict and mental health ano sa katawo and era academic performance or even an relationship quality nera has something to do or associated with self-esteem. So ano ba ni itsura han mature nga self-esteem? So an mature self-esteem is liking oneself, which involves seeing oneself with all your faults and accepting it. Kumbaga, unhealthy nga self-esteem is realistic. In-acknowledge mo ani mo strengths and also your limitations. At the same time, maintaining gihapon ang imo overall positive self-regard. Diba? So, an mature nga self-esteem is not about perfectionism. It's not about grandiosity, pero it's balanced nga self-acceptance, 'di ba? Maaram kini mo strengths at the same time limitations. Okay? So that's the difference between the two. Again, self-concept is cognitive or descriptive knowledge about yourself, while his self-esteem is affective or evaluative feeling mo about an imo self. Now let's talk about identity formation, since this is the central na psychosocial crisis sa adolescence. Okay. Kaya ano daw la nga asya ini and central because physical maturation, cognitive development, and mga social expectations, they converge to create identity pressure. Okay? So, ang task talaga adolescents is to find what makes them unique and distinct. Misabihin, kailangan integrate and past childhood nga identifications and present na mga changes and also on future aspirations into coherent sense of self. Okay? So, as you can see in the hatong slide na siling nga ang mga adolescents nag-adopt hin different roles. Nagto-try out hirahin iba-ibang identities to find it. Kumbaga, this is actually their way of testing hypotheses about themselves. Like, who am I when I act this way? Di ba? Kapag nag-act ba ako ini, does it feel authentic ba ini? Diba? So, ining exploration is actually normal and necessary ito, and it's not problematic for adolescents to do this. Okay? Next, confusion. Confusion comes by failing to organize around a central unified core identity. Kasi adolescents, damon mga possibilities, damon mga conflicting nga mga pressures, may ada mga premature pang foreclosure nga nakaka-create mga fragmentation ha adolescent stage. And because of that, sometimes or many of adolescents are parang waray direction in life or they are confused and it's hard for them to make commitments, no? Okay. Kasi pa hindi pa na-establish an era identity. So, the importance of this is that a good, stable sense of identity is actually the foundation for future development and choices, especially because the next stage in adolescence is young adulthood, and the next psychosocial crisis is intimacy versus isolation. So, one of the big choices na kailangan desisyonan and young people is marriage, lawat. And we all know that you cannot achieve true nga intimacy without knowing your identity or who you are, di ba? So, na-require kasi nga an intimacy um, brings and secure self to relationship, di ba? Now, let's talk about social pressures. Okay, social pressures. Una, career or occupation. So, this is um major nga identity domain, like what will I do or what will I be, 'di ba? So, kasi an imo career, it defines what an adult self a modern society. So, an occupation, nagiging primary identity marker kasi ito mga industrialized na societies. Like for now, right now, 'di ba? It imo akon work yun na also parang is my primary identity marker. Um, Also, the future is now up to them, 'di ba? And transition from being dependent ngadtuhan ira self-direction kay an approaching adult na autonomy or independence na require kasihin the adolescent should learn to take ownership pan iya life direction, di ba? So reliance on friends and peers for information rather than parents. Ang mga adolescents talaga or teenagers, dako talaga an influence and peers. Especially those na parehas an age, haera. Papresera going through identical nga transitions. So, mas importante ang experiences nila with peers, with parents, kasi hi parents, iba hira nga era, while the peers is the same age, same experience. So, amat pinaka-relevant nga social group han mga adolescents. Now, let's talk about psychological moratorium. This is a period when adolescents take time off from upcoming adult responsibilities to explore in different roles and responsibilities. So, and society kasi allows in experimentation without permanent consequences. So, mas maupay if it's a safe space to try in mga identities. Okay? So, for example, college education, and various activities before committing to career path. Okay? So, sometimes, um, nagahamay dahin foreclosure. Ibig sabihin nini is that, na-expose sila hini without really exploring that much. Like, na-expose na lahira, basta nalarang na-expose, pero wala hira may active decision to what really is nila gusto i-pursue. Especially for parents nga hira mismo ang pipili han ano ini an career nga for their kids or era teens. Okay, so maupay sana if the teen may na niya opportunity to explore. Now let's talk about the framework ni Marsha and identity development. Okay, so gin-expand kasi ni Marsha and gan Erickson's theory by identifying in four identity statuses. So this is just a review. I know that you are familiar of this. So may dadua nga dimensions ini nga mga identity statuses. May the crisis and commitment. So he crisis may iton an um papakiana ta if an person ba or adolescent gin ko question ba niya or nag-explore yan alternatives. So crisis mainly is about exploration. Commitment naman, has the person made relatively firm commitments to goals, values, and beliefs? Okay? So, we have to consider this hapag intindihan ng mga identity statuses. So, identity achievement gone through a period of crisis, ibig sabihin nag-explore, and develop relatively firm commitments. So, may ada crisis, nag-explore hiya, at the same time, may ada commitment. So, this is the most mature of all identity statuses because ang ira mga commitments are self-chosen because human hera mag-explore. And mas informed nila decision, mas authentic, ngan mas self-directed, stable, independent thinking, and mas capable hera because they explored and naka-experience sila in crisis and the middle of exploring, but then they evaluated or ginuway nila before they commit, 'di ba? So there is a crisis and a commitment here. Well, identity foreclosure naman, they never gone through an identity crisis but has become committed to certain goals. So medyo problematic actually in foreclosure kay ang commitments na karawat nera without really exploring. For example, karawat nera ang suggested program ni parents. Well, medyo problematic ito because what if hindi rin talaga ito na siya niya karuyag, 'di ba? Kumbaga, wala niya nag-explore, karawat nala niya, nag-commit hira hiya right away, kaya mo niyan gustuhan parents. Okay, so it's rigid, conventional, and it's difficult to adapt to change for persons nga na-engage in commitment pero what a crisis wasn't able to explore. Kumbaga, ang identity ang tao here is just borrowed kasi ginsunod ko lang kung anong karayagan akong parents. It's not constructed and it seems stable pero fragile ito hiya when challenged. What if magkamay dahin mga difficulties along the way? So, dakong possibility na damon sasayang nga oras, di ba? Third is identity moratorium. Here naman, currently going through an identity crisis, but what I sinisining commitment yet. Nag-explore pero what I pa commitment yet. So this is a temporary phase. So ining exploration phase itself kay normal man talaga iton for adolescents to explore. It's important, it's needed, and uncomfortable hiya. Pero that's a healthy nga way, no? So obviously kapag ada ka pa crisis, no? Syempre nakaka-trigger hin anxiety. Damon mga questions in mind, you try different na mga identities, confused, 'di ba? So duration hining identity moratorium depende. Sometimes it's just weeks, sometimes it's months or years. Dependehan individual and support from the society or anira circle and dependehan kakuri or kaano ka complex and choice, no? So identity moratorium may ada crisis, nag-explore pero there is no commitment yet. And lastly is the identity confusion or diffusion. Dinhi, they never had a crisis, is not in one now, and has not formed or established goals. So this is concerning kay the person is neither exploring nor committing, no? Kumbaga aimless, drifting away or parang apathetic. And most of the persons na adihin nga stage is low on self-esteem, superficial in your relationships, impulsive, waray direction, and may adopt hin fleeting nga identities based han iya immediate pressure. Pero waray niya conviction, di ba? So, I hope that you are able to review kung ano ini, pero in case it's really hard for you to understand. So, identity achievement, both meta crisis and commitment. Identity foreclosure, waray crisis, pero may ada commitment. Identity moratorium, may da crisis, pero waray commitment. While the identity diffusion or confusion is both waray crisis ngahing commitment. Okay? Now, there are actually three models of cultural identity. So, yan na, let's talk about cultural assimilation model. So here, an individual cultural identity should be assimilated into a unified culture or sinisaring a melting pot. So this is historically dominant kasi it assumes nga homogeneity is necessary for national unity. Ang problem lahini kay nag-imply nga ang dominant culture superior nga na-require nga ang minority cultures to abandon an era heritage or mag-create hin identity hin conflict. Now with pluralistic society model, here naman his society is made up of diverse, co-equal cultural groups that should preserve their individual features. Kumbaga, it's like a salad bowl. Here, it's more preferable kay and values diversity is considered as strength na reduce and pressure, and it allows in mga multiple cultures na mag-coexist while also maintaining and distinct na identity. We also have bicultural identity or integration. So here we draw on the cultural identity while also integrating into the dominant culture. So here parang you're holding both simultaneously and um cultural identity and also integration with culture. It's the healthiest among the three kay it doesn't require nga i-reject ang culture but you integrate para mas cohesive an identity. So, mas flexible ini, there is access to multiple cultural resources, and may ni psychological benefits. Okay? Pero may nagyapon sinisaring nga mga um, challenges for dual identity formation kasi it's more difficult sa mga racial and ethnic groups kay they must develop both personal identity, like who am I, and ethnic racial identity nga what does my ethnicity mean to me. Kumbaga, it requires in to integrate duwang possibly or potentially conflicting identity domains. So, there are times na contradictory ini nga mga social values, and they must parang navigate this contradictory values. So his society should be colorblind or equality rhetoric, but opportunities differ for races and ethnic groups. Kumbaga may ada discrimination nga reality. And it's really confusing kasi masiring nga ang race kuno doesn't matter while experiencing na it clearly matters or it clearly does, 'di ba? So nakaka-create yahin double nga consciousness, seeing self through our own eyes and also through dominant na cultures prejudice nga lens. Okay? So, ano man ang identity options para sa mga minority nga adolescents? Integration or being bicultural to maintain an heritage plus adapt liwat hin dominant na culture which is mas best and outcomes. And makuri kasi assimilation. Kasi you abandon ang iyong heritage, you adopt the dominant culture only. So, as you can see, nawawaraliwat na mo cultural roots. Kung separation naman, you maintain an heritage only, pero gina-reject mo naman ang dominant culture. So, medyo maka-experience and person in social isolation. And marginalization naman kay ginra-reject mo and both cultures. Mas worst ito nga outcome kay you become alienated or confused. Okay? So, that's it. Let's proceed to relationships. So, changing family relationships. Seeking autonomy or control over one's life is primary and relational change ha adolescence. Nade-develop ito hiya because han cognitive maturity, physical maturity, and also social expectations na nagda-drive for an adolescent to be independent seeking. Pero we have to remember an autonomy is not actually rebellion. Autonomy is healthy. Healthy hiyang nga developmental task na nagmo-move towards self na management or self-governance. Okay? So, parents sometimes become frustrated over an increasing autonomy in adolescents. Do you know why? Because letting go is really difficult. 'Di ba? Parents nag-worry lagi hapon hirahan safety, they miss and feeling na dependent pa ang mga bata ha era, and they also feel na rejected hira. 'Di ba? So, amay to na parent-adolescent conflict is typical during this stage. Nag-i-increase siya during early adolescence, nagpipik hiya ha mid-adolescence, pero later on, nagde-decline gihapon ha late adolescence. So, an autonomy, they slowly grow during adolescence. So, in a progressive way, diri hiya sudden, and skill building process kasi, teens kailangan mag-practice with increasing freedom and responsibility. Okay? Kung nakikita mo, gradual talaga ini nga autonomy, diri sudden kay pag early adolescence, medyo small pa ang freedom nga na-experience. Pero pagka diha middle adolescence, mas damo na era decision making. And the late adolescence naman, adult-like independence ini. For example, going to college, 'di ba? Most of you here nakaka-experience na adult-like independence as you enter college. Okay, so nagakamay dahin changes sa relationship with the parents. So, kunan una, buro bata pa, medyo hierarchical and aton relationship to our parents na the parent commands and then the child obeys, 'di ba? So from being hierarchical nagiging more egalitarian sa naton relationship with parents when adi na kita adolescence, where nagakamay din ng mutual respect, nakakapag-negotiate na ang bata ha parents or the parents to the adolescent. So this is needed or parang necessary hiya kay diri kasi talaga ma-maintain ang parent-child dynamic han baby pa kita ngadtuhan magiging adult na, 'di ba? So Pero unhealthy outcome talaga hini is to maintain lagi hapon ang connection biskan pa nag-iba na ang relationship structure and parents and child. And diri unta disconnection or continued nga infantilization. What do you mean by continued infantilization? Itong ba nga parang baby lagi hap bisan man adolescent na or approaching adult na, 'di ba? So the healthy outcome here is that i-maintain lagi po ng connection and mother or father nga to era child even if iba na good talaga ang dynamics pag adolescent na because may ada na autonomy. So the degree of autonomy also varies with the number of children in the culture. Kaya ano number of children kay an only child nakaka-experience siyahin more scrutiny or it's either more scrutiny or more freedom, 'di ba? Pero han mga many naman an anak na reduce and per child parental monitoring kay naibanan gihapon because syempre ang kadamuhan anak. So, mga individualist cultures like mga western in-emphasize talaga ang independence as maturity. Pero ang mga collectivist cultures, we emphasize naman an interdependence, 'di ba? Nga magkakaiba-ibaan endpoints. So, he parent ng teen conflict typically is about mga chores, homework, curfew, ano pa ba? Appearance, like bisan in the way manulot or bisan ng technology use. I think that's the more relevant na source of conflicts and parents ano an increased use of screen time. So nakaka-represent din in autonomy negotiations kasi nagde-decide about this? Is it really the mom or the adolescent? 'Di ba? So, ito mga parang typical nga conflicts. Pero sometimes there are serious conflicts pa about mga values, beliefs, mga major life decisions nga relatively rare nga nakaka-indicate in problematic relationships. Um, some of the family changes is what we call generation gap or the divide between parents and children in attitudes, values, aspirations, and worldview. Kasi, kaya nagkakamay the generation gap kasi magkaiba yung historical experiences, magkaiba ang technology, hadto nga time nga niya na, and there are cultural shifts nakaka-create talaga yung apparent na difference between the experience and mother and or the parents and the child. So the actual gap is very narrow. Research shows nga parents and teens agree in most fundamental issues. Pero exaggerated la iton hiya because sa mga memorable na conflicts nga nakaka-overshadow ang daily harmony and social media nag-emphasize ang generational conflict. Asya man talaga, di ba? Bisa ng mga shows. And both generations also focus on differences kaysa han similarities. Pero the reality is very narrow la talaga ang gap between hadua. On social, political, and religious issues, parents and adolescents tend to agree. No? Kaya ano daw la, nga mga sugad-lugod din nga mga topics or issues, they tend to agree. Because socialization is effective. Children kasi, they internalize and parents core values. Biskan pa may mga times that they rebel. Bisan ang era political affiliation, and mga religious beliefs, work ethic, or mga educational values, or mga something na ginatagan importansya ng pamilya. 'Di ba? Even if may danera sort of parang rebellion, still may nagyap mga na-internalize nahan child or adolescent and mga values from the parents. So most adolescents and their parents get along quite well. So that's something I'd like to emphasize kasi yung social media kasi medyo ibaan era pag-portray, pero the reality is um damo gad gihapon nga adolescents are okay or getting along well with their parents because an attachment bonds from childhood na persist talaga hiya nga da ka adults. So, and love and respect underlying despite increased na bickering or conflicts between the two. Okay, so there is a deep love, affection, and respect for parents among mga adolescents. And in fact, kung naman mga teenagers, kung hinon era most na gina-admire, kadaman nila nga baton is the name of their parents, di ba? Most relationships kuno are more positive than negative. So, daily interactions and parent and child is mostly cooperative. Kumbaga, ang mga conflict is just minority and mga exchanges nga nangyayari between parents and children. But psychologically salient yeah. Okay? So, usual ko talaga ng mga conflict actually is kuan about mga chores talaga, homework na na-require immediate na behavior, mga personal choices, bisan ng pamado, the choice of music and friends and technology use, ito mga typical na mga conflicts of mother and child. Autonomy issues, sugad and curfew, and mga privileges. So, ito na mga typical. Pero may liliwat mga deeper pa nga mga conflicts, sugad and politics, religion. Very unlikely iton kasi usually magkaparehas and parents nga and children iton because sining ko pa kanina sometimes they also internalize, no? Pero again, case to case basis ini. Okay? So let's proceed. Okay, relationships with peers. Social comparison. Yan, that's common na adolescents. Comparing and evaluating opinions, abilities, and physical changes of others to oneself. So, nag-intensify ni during adolescence kaya an identity formation na require yan self-understanding. So, he peers na provide yan reference points for evaluation. So, when they social compare, they ask questions nga, normal ba ako? Smart ba ako? Attractive ba ako? Or competent? And do you know how they answer these questions? They compare kaira same age peers. Okay, so her reference group naman, these are groups of people with whom you compare yourself. This is your standards para yung self-evaluation. Pero it's really important na you should not really compare to everyone. And you should select mga specific groups as benchmarks. Okay? Okay, so kabataan pa kasi and aton reference is our family. Pero adolescents and reference na naton and peers. iba naman ha adulthood, no? Damo na nga mga multiple na nga specific references. Okay. So, since peers and bases sa adolescents, um, he peer opinions kay dako ko dito na wait for the adolescents. We also have this clique. This is mga group of 2 to 12 members na may frequent social interactions. So, kaya ano may mga cliques. Because each adolescent may na talaga need for belonging, intimacy, identity, emotional support. So, ang mga clique is small lahiya, tight-knit, and very exclusive, mas frequent in interaction, shared an interest in activities. So, an purpose of clique is to really providing close friendships and also identity or being part of this group, social support. So, this is harani and barkada hini nga clique, diba? And marman kalit barkada is central ha adolescent social life. Now let's talk about crowd. This is larger than a clique, and it's made up of those who share particular characteristics but who may not interact with each other. Um, and reputation-based nga social categories, stereotypes organizing social landscape. So, amoy ni and larger, dozens to hundreds members, and siring ko pa and crowd, they may not know each other personally, based on shared la nga image or reputation. Okay? So, for example, mga nerds or mga populars or mga social categories nga nakaka-provide in identity labels. So, ang function niya is for social identity, category membership, and it also guides and behavior expectations. So, he clicked diri within crowds. So, mga small friendship groups and cliques. Pero ang crowd is larger. Kaya for example, mga athletes kamo, it's a crowd. Okay? Ang mga athletes kasi they share athlete identity pero not everyone knows each other. Okay? So that's the difference between clique and crowd. Now, let's proceed to popularity. Okay, may the mga controversial adolescents. Amoy liked by some peers and disliked by others. Okay, strong ang mga personality and very distinct in their behaviors. That's why naka-attract in some, pero also repel in others. So they may be assertive, aggressive, confident, non-conforming, risk-taking, or highly opinionated. So, ang social position ng mga controversial adolescents kay mixed. May niya supporters and bashers or detractors. Pero this is better than being ignored, 'di ba? May dalat sila sa nga rejected adolescents. Ini actively disliked and whose peers may react to them in an obviously negative manner. So this is concerning kasi here ang mga rejected adolescents, they experience active nga exclusion, nakaka-experience sila teasing, bullying, and mas at risk talaga hera. They may be aggressive, you can bully others, but they can also be withdrawn or socially awkward or anxious or sometimes both. So, mga rejected adolescents are lacking in social skills. Sometimes they also violate in mga norms and consequences lugod ni kay it can be predicted nga mas prone hera to depression, anxiety, or academic problems, delinquency, school dropout, yun. So, most painful hiya nga status talaga at rejected adolescents. Yun, kasi you are being excluded or isolated. So, kinahanglan ko dito intervention, urgent intervention. Kasi, kunwari support, it will lead to negative outcomes. May dalat neglected adolescents, inhira nakaka-receive relatively little attention from peers in either positive or negative interactions. Kumbaga bagyan invisible. Okay, they blend into the background, unremarkable, they don't stand out positively or negatively. And characteristics sininira mga quiet la, shy, unremarkable, and they don't call attention to themselves. Pero less concerning hinihiya kaysa rejected. Kay di man gud hira nakaka-experience in active harm, pero diri ra notice. Okay? And nila friends, usually mga 1 to 2 close friends la. Pero it's sufficient na actually. Iba nga temperaments, especially for those who are introverts. They can actually move out from this status, pero they need opportunity for positive visibility. Pero some adolescents, they prefer this lower profile kay not everyone really wants popularity. Ini nga mga status, no, popularity or peer status, dili ya completely fixed. It can be changed depending sinisiring na circumstances, interventions, or development. Pero ang mga rejected nga adolescents, amo yung pinaka medyo challenging to to change an era experience. And neglected, this is more easier kaysa rejected na status. Kaya eventually, pwede may opportunity pa for them to get noticed. Oh, yan. So, controversial status naman, depende yan context. Diba? Pwede kasi, um, kuan niya, since controversial hiya, pwede hiya more supporters or more bashers. So, let's talk about peer pressure. Kasi this influence of one's peers to conform to their behavior and attitudes. Okay? So, why do we feel na to conform? Kasi we need this for acceptance. We fear of being rejected. And an identity formation man talaga in adolescence is through peer identification or parang group belonging. Diba? So, on peer pressure can be explicit or implicit. Ba? Explicit ibig sabihin may ada pressure talaga to do it. And implicit is the desire to fit in bisan pa daw waray direct nga pressure. So, adolescents are highly susceptible to the influence of peers. Um, identity kasi is not yet solidified at this stage. So, and peer acceptance is very important for them. Impulse control is still developing kasi nga, as I said, and prefrontal cortex is still immature at this point. So, more susceptible than children who conform to parents or adults who have independent identity. Yan. Um, yun. So, mas prone to influence talagahan peers and adolescents. So, what to wear, who to date, movies to see, what group to belong to, music, language, and activities. Amo ni nga mga areas. Ang visible markers and identity, group membership, and this is the reference group parahan mga social domains. So, parents nakaka-maintain niya influence over han core values, and educational plans, or mga major life nga decisions. So, unconformity to peers due to pressure to conform and seek an identity is when ang pag-test ng identities kina-adapt ha group norms. So, and fear liwatan rejection asya nga we just conform kasi we desire also na ma-belong kita for us to be secured and para ma-establish natin natin identity. So there are actually mga types of peer pressure. May the positive nga peer pressure, dili tanan negative. Positive in a way nga nakaka-encourage in mga pro-social behaviors like pag-effort ta akads or avoiding alcohol or engaging sa mga healthy activities, 'di ba? So that's positive peer pressure. Pero unfortunately, dili tanan kay positive, may sinisaling nga negative peer pressure wherein the adolescent is being encouraged to engage in risky behaviors like substance use, sexual activity, delinquency, academic disengagement. Yan. May daliwat neutral nga peer pressure where an influences preferences without major nga consequence. So, gadhan fashion or the choice of music, slang, di ba? So, it's not particularly parang beneficial or harmful social influence lahiya. Okay? Um, Ultimately, nabot liwat ang panahon nga na-develop na an own autonomy han bata na na-conform na hera less hira peers and parents. Pero adi pa ito usually ha late adolescents or ha young adults na nasusolidify na ini nga autonomy. Kay this is the point where nag-grow na nila confidence, ang less na nila need para an external validation. Yan. So, mas high and conformity talaga adet mga 12 to 14 years old. Pero nag-decline gihapon ang conformity around mga late teens, mga 17 to 19. And pag autonomous choices, usually ano nito ha, young adults. Okay? Now, let's talk about teen dating. 'Di ba? Kay usually nagkakamay din early romantic interest by 6th grade nga liking a special person develops. I mean, a crush, romantic interest, nag-emerge. And the reason for that is nakakamay kasi mga pubertal changes na nakaka-trigger dili lahan physical but also emotional or social transformations sugadhan romantic interest, di ba? So, yung mga early crushes, sometimes ang mga crushes niya grade 6 and mga distant or mga fantasy-based or mga safe nga mga romantic interests sugadhan celebrities or mga unattainable peers. Yon. So, here, nagpa-practice palahin romantic feelings pero what I risk. Okay, pero by 10th grade, half of the adolescents made a romantic relationship nga naglalast for about 2 months or longer. Dini kasi ang social and emotional maturity kay sufficient na para makasustain in relationships. Diba? So, grade 10. Oo. Kumbaga, bagan fourth year high school na naman panahon. And, yun, nakakasustain in relationships ito ng mga panahon and they can handle in reciprocity, give and take, commitment, and also handling conflicts. Okay? So, magkaiba na inihan early crushes nga na-mention ta kanina. So, here, may dan na talaga actual nga interaction, may dan na mutual nga commitment, nga nakakag-negotiate na han relationship dynamics. Okay, so dakong bulig actually hit dating kay nakaka-develop lo dito identity, nakaka-learn and bata and era preferences sa era romantic partners, and intimacy skills as well. Napapromote an emotional vulnerability, communication, and also trust. Autonomy, kaya diba? May ka na choices nga independent of parents. Kaya man to apin ni mo parents at ni mga uyab-uyab, diba? So, it also parang um, it helps your social status kasi ang dating actually confers sa imong status sa many peer groups. Na iba talaga pag may edad na crush-crush, jowa-jowa, diba? And also, it serves a need and person for emotional support or companionship, and it's a preparation also for adult relationships. Now let's talk about gays and lesbians. Um, kasi many gay and lesbian teens date the opposite sex. Kay ginahide pa nila nila sexual orientation kasi nahadlok pa rin stigma. Okay, so there are also lack or gutila and same-sex dating options, and it's either what confused pa rin nila identity, and they are pressured to appear nga heterosexual hera, 'di ba, for safety concerns. So and kuan naman ini is that it creates hin inauthenticity para apihan LGBTQ plus nga adolescents. It increases sa nila stress and guilt, and nadadelay lugod ang pagdevelop in genuine nga romantic relationships kasi they are hiding, kumbaga closeted pahera during these years. Sociocultural context and dating. So, ang mga values, religious beliefs, and tradition are really strong influence dating patterns kay and dating behaviors kay culturally constructed man hiya diri kasi hiya universal nga practice, 'di ba? So depende kung ano nga culture, kung kailan ba talaga nagtikang ang dating, early ba or late adolescence. Yon, whom you can date kasi may na iba na parang oriented hera nga same religion dapat, 'di ba? Or same social class, especially kung mayaman, yan pobre, 'di ba? Parental involvement, pwede. Ang iba, none. Pero ang iba naman is heavily supervised and yung helicopter parents. Also, mga physical intimacy expectations. No kissing or something ba? Or progressive ba ang iyo stand partehin eh. Okay. So yun, dakon rule gihapan values, religious beliefs, and tradition naka-influence siya as to the context and dating. Okay? We also have this rites of passage. So, damo kasi nga mga native cultures, when a boy or girl enters adolescence, they must undergo an initiation into the tribe. So, ang una nga panahon, um, they assume na the responsibilities of an adult kapag nag-enter na adolescence. So, ini nga rites of passage is it provides hin clear nga identity, community recognition, and role clarity or sense of belonging and purpose. May mga elements and traditional rights. It's separation from childhood. So often physical removal and community. May dalawa transformation period like tests, teachings, or ordeal. Incorporation as adult, like mga ceremony, new name or title, mga adult privileges or responsibilities. Okay, so that's han mga traditional ini nga rights. Pero, ano ba mga remnants of adolescent initiation rights na may edakatayan na aton modern society? Actually, modern adolescents kulang katahin clear na markers, no? Very ambiguous and extended ang transition naton to adolescence. May mga modern equivalent and rites of passage kay para religious nga confirmations. This parang signals and spiritual adulthood. Debut. Yan, mga debut. So ito hiya nga rites of passage. Graduation ceremonies para mga educational milestones. First job or driver's license, mga autonomy markers iton nga adults na. Legal age 18. Yan. Pilipinas, importante, 18 years old. Kay here you can vote. 'Di ba? Or adult legal status na automatically. Okay, so may mga problem kasi kung diri clear on rights of passage. Nangyayari, naging extended and very ambiguous ito part ng adolescent. Nako-confuse sila, unclear nila expectation, and delayed nila assumption and adult responsibilities. Kumbaga, may nagkakamit na prolonged dependency. So, sometimes it really helps, no, na may rites of passage talaga. So, para may sinisiring a proper transition. Okay. So, amon to na naton kanan modern society. Now let's talk about delinquency. Okay, this is very concerning nga part in adolescent development. So, let's define first and delinquency. Okay, this refers to antisocial or illegal behavior by minors. However, dili tanan nga delinquent adolescents are the same. So, in categorize natin hira into types based on their developmental trajectories. So, let's talk about under socialized delinquents. Meaning mga adolescents that typically come from environments with inadequate socialization. So, kada man na era naka-experience in harsh, inconsistent, or neglectful nga parenting with little emotional warmth or appropriate discipline. Because walahira katutuloy properly and societal norms and standards of conduct, they also lack the internal na regulatory mechanisms na makaka-guide and pro-social behavior. So, this ini nga mga klasehan youth, they often show signs and psychological difficulties early. Kada man na era are diagnosed with ADHD in childhood, and some of them have lower intellectual functioning and frequently may add a comorbid nga psychological disorders. Inihira, an era naman delinquent behavior tends to be more serious ngahin persistent. While ang mga socialized delinquents naman, in contrast, nakaka-understand and generally accept in societal norms. So, they are psychologically normal. Pero, an era delinquent behavior is primarily influenced and peer pressure or group dynamics. Okay, so, kada man ni era nag-engage in mga minor offenses, so ganang vandalism, and most importantly, and mga socialized delinquents desist from criminal behavior as they mature into adulthood. Yan. May daliwat mga behavior patterns kasi may ada mga statistics nga very striking kay 16% of all arrests for serious crimes in the US involve individuals under 18 years old. So, mga under-socialized delinquents are also much higher risk for chronic offending. Ini nga mga una nga delinquents. While ang mga socialized delinquents naman typically commit crimes in groups and are heavily influenced by peer dynamics. So, siyang pagkakaibahan. Under-socialized yan, socialized kasi more in groups talaga and socialized delinquents. Or parang due to peer pressures la. Okay? So, sa Pilipinas, may nakita mga puro pares nga patterns. May nakita sinisiring children in conflict with the law or CICL. Not sure if I'll include this in the exam, pero it's important to know na may nakita RA 9344 and ang mga CICL naton or children in conflict with the law often come from backgrounds of poverty, family dysfunction, and limited nga educational opportunities. Ini kasi ang mga factors nakaka-contribute talaga hiya to under-socialized patterns. Okay? Also, ang mga barkada naman, peer group, naka-influence siya culture. So, damo ng mga adolescents di Pilipinas na engage in mga minor na delinquent acts. So, ganun, pag-cutting classes or vandalism. And it's just because of peer pressure. Okay, diri inherent nga antisocial tendencies. So, importante mabarantad distinction between under-socialized delinquents and socialized delinquents. Now, let's talk about depression kasi it's one of the most significant mental health concerns sa adolescents. And who is depressed? Sino ba nas most vulnerable ngan kay ano? So, he research, nag-indicate yan na approximately 25% an adolescents report feeling sad or hopeless for 2 or more consecutive weeks. Nga to the point na they stop engaging in normal activities. So you can see, clinically significant ini and meets the criterion depressive episodes. So may da mga gender differences liwat. Kay girls experience depression more frequently kaysa boys during adolescence. And the reason for that is research points nga ang different coping mechanisms. And girls kasi um, we tend to employ in mga ruminative coping styles like overthinking and turning inward and dwelling on negative thoughts and feelings. While boys naman, on the other hand, they turn it outward, nag-externalize sa era distress through action or aggression. Okay? So, ini nga internalization han girls makes them more vulnerable han depressive nga disorders. So, as you can see, may daliwat mga ethnic and racial considerations kasi may the common misconception nga an African Americans or other minority groups nga may dahil higher rates of depression kaysa white population. However, um, may mga rigorous nga studies nga diri consistent ang pag-support hini. So, ang naobserbahan lugod instead is that an environmental stressors or mga social factors, discrimination, or mga socio-economic disadvantages rather than the race talaga itself. So, tako na ang factor han SES talaga na associated ha increased depression risk among mga groups. Also, changes in environment and family conflict, academic pressure, other social factors related gihapon ha nakaka-contribute in adolescent depression. Okay? And yun nga mga social factors has something to do with social rejection, identity struggles, family conflict. Yan. So, na-discuss na naman ninihan mga previous slides. But what I'm trying to say here is, damo ng mga adolescents or um, amo yun na pinaka-significant mental health concern, which is depression. And the leading cause of death for 15 to 24 years old is top 5 and accidents. Um, Adolescents kasi are incomplete pa or kumbaga developing pa nila prefrontal cortex and naapektuhan na naman ng risk assessment, ng impulse control na that leads han era dangerous na behaviors like mga reckless driving, substance use, or risk taking. So that's why top one talaga hiya. Second is AIDS. Unfortunately, HIV or AIDS is epidemic here. Risky kasi and sexual behaviors and substance use na nakaka-contribute liwathan AIDS. And then cancer also is less common naman ha adolescents. Um, there are certain na cancers like leukemia, lymphoma, bone cancer na nakaka-affect ha young people. Heart disease. It's relatively rare pero na-include liwat dinhi ang mga congenital heart conditions ngan mga complications sa iba nga diseases. And suicide. Kasi this will be the last topic that we will discuss, socio-emotional and suicide. This is the third leading cause of death. Okay, so ini nga mga causes nakaka-reflect hiyahan adolescent developmental characteristics nga personal fable. Ito nga ni nga, it won't happen to me nga attitude, but then imaginary audience nga that leads to risky behaviors just to impress and peers. Ito pa na sensation-seeking na tendencies. Ngan ito pa na incomplete pa ang neurological maturation, nakaka-affect talaga hiyahan, judgment, ngan impulse control, han, adolescents. Now, let's end to this slide, no? Muna akong last slide for socio-emotional development. Let's examine suicide. Kasi preventable man ini nga tragedy, pero it affects many adolescents nga nanira families. So, as mentioned kanina, suicide is the third major cause of death among 15 to 24-year-old. So, may adaliwati rate of approximately 12.2 suicides per 100,000 adolescents US. So, nag-increase na ini significantly han past 30 years ngan very concerning talaga. So, may da sinisiring nga gender paradox kay girls attempt suicide more frequently than boys, pero boys complete suicide more often. What's the reason? Because in boys, they tend to use more lethal means like firearms, hanging, while in girls naman, more often use methods like overdose, nga mas higher and survival rates. Pero diri gihapon ni madidiminish and seriousness ini nga mga attempts kasi tanan nga suicidal behavior na requirement talaga yung immediate nga intervention. So major causes of depression kay primary risk factor talaga hiya. On previous discussion naton 25% han adolescents nakaka-experience in significant depressive symptoms. So dako na cause talaga of suicide is depression. Another one is social and family social problems, bullying or being isolated, rejected by peers, or maybe mga romantic relationship breakups. Another one is family problem, no? Nga cause of suicide. Like maybe they are abused at home, neglected, may conflict, divorce, or loss of a parent. Yan. Perfectionism is also a cause of suicide. Mga unrealistic na standards and fear and failure, especially academic pressure. And anxiety. Anxiety about the future, na feeling nila hopeless sila, nila career, nila identity, nila life direction. So, that's a major cause. And lastly, alcohol and drug abuse. Kasi, mga risk factors kasi inhira, kay nakaka-disinhibit ini and factors that make suicidal ideation more likely to lead to attempts. Okay? So, kung kan Erickson pa perspective in suicide risk, na-relate hiya ha identity confusion and despair. Kasi adolescents, kung di nila na-resolve nila identity crisis and wala nila nakikita nga viable future self, his suicide may seem like an era only escape ito nga crisis. So ito nga mga cognitive distortions nga associated na depression, sugadahan pagiging hopelessness, helplessness, worthlessness, nakaka-create hiyahan sinisiring nga psychache or unbearable nga psychological pain. Okay? So, that's all for the socio-emotional development ha, adolescence.